leaking. There are what does it say? Okay. Yeah, so the stadium's leaking. There are major issues with, like, the entrance and the way, like, fans that go in week out. A lot of there are the fucking club is run, and
Uh-huh.
that's really really sad. So like I completely understand because I'm so invested, bro. Manchester United is
That's
like the
important. That's where they
goal.
get us, though.
Manchester United is like the goal I know is going to be.
Let me know if you can see my screen, by the way.
I can.
Okay, bet. That's
So
weird.
Man United is like the club that enjoys sort of your attention, loves it,
Yeah,
but the minute there is something that needs to be reciprocated back, she's going to be
no,
like,
I saw that.
"Hey, I'm busy tonight. I'm not down for this. I have something else to do," and she's going to go with someone else. So
Yeah.
like,
Okay, so all right, so bro, like a lot of people have been going crazy about this whole Adin Ross thing and him being racist to Indians, and
hmm,
it's like it's kind of become like a cultural thing, especially throughout North America, where people like to make like funny jokes, like you know what I mean,
right, yeah.
and some of them are funny, but like realistically, it is racist, like you know what I mean. So I'm
Mhm.
just gonna like play some of these little clips and see what you think. I think this one he explains why he doesn't like Indians in this one, which is it's not that deep, but let's just watch it anyways.
You know what really made me like Indian people? I've always liked Indian people, but I stopped liking them after Neon. After he fucked me and over and shit, and he became weird on me and shit. And I got no problem with Neon. It was just back in the day though. I was like, fuck all Indians. I'm Indian K. But you know what? ABZ is such a nice Indian, bro. I really
Okay, so do you know who Neon is? Do you know who Neon is?
I've heard of this character. I know he's a bit of like an incel who wears specs, has that buzz cut sort of thing going on. He's a little nerdy. The
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And what he said, right? I mean, I don't know where you stand on this, man, but like me as like a brown, light brown guy, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
You're
it,
brown.
it- yeah, I told you I need to talk about this incident where I was on the subway
Mm,
and the subway was fairly empty. I was listening to music or listening to a podcast or something.
yeah.
And this guy who's sitting besides me, he tries to like strike up a conversation. He makes small talk and
Okay.
he lifts my hands verbatim and like turns like my wrist. And he's like, "So you're like a white Indian now, are you?" And I swear to God, bro, I was offended and I took that as a compliment at the same time because I'm like, you don't see me as everybody else, but also, is this the image of what you have? I'm like, a lot of
You're
people.
white Indian? Like, how is that a thing though? Like, what?
It's not. And I don't know, man, but like the place where I come
I'm
from,
a
like,
black guy.
I don't know because they think that the stereotypical Indian version of what
So
they
they
are.
got black Indians too then, huh?
Yeah, of course. I mean, black Indians through skin color, not race, but yeah, they do.
Okay, let me just play this short clip to you, see what you think.
Gaslighting is a phrase called stop putting this out Shakespeare. Yeah. So basically, you come to my city and you it's not your city, little bro. All my life is not your city. I didn't check in with you. I don't have to check in with you. This is not your city, bro. No. Your city is India. Okay. Go there. That's your city. I'm not going to India anytime soon. Don't worry about it, buddy. All right. What else do you have to say? This is what you come here saying? Yeah.
Wait. Look, what do you think about that little part right there? Because he's in
First of
Toronto now,
all,
right? So this guy is saying, "Hey, you come to my city, which is Toronto, right? And you're being disrespectful towards us. That shit's not cool."
right. First of all, India is not a city, it's a whole country.
Yeah.
So, I mean, uh, I'm not very surprised, but like if it's coming from someone like Aiden Ross, I don't take it very
Wait, what
seriously
do you mean someone like Adin Ross?
because he's a bit baity and his content is more entertaining than it is to be intellectually profound. He's making content for the sake of general superficial, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not judging. You know what? Get the bag, get the money that you need. But like if I want to watch something overtly sensible, all I'm saying is I don't really
Watching.
subscribe to Eden Ross. So I take everything he says with a pinch of salt. I don't take him too seriously. I don't think a lot of people, and the people who do take him seriously are the problem.
No, there's people taking him seriously.
And maybe that's scary. Hey, listen,
Not to say this.
nothing wrong with like being all bantery and like be like Speed does that all the time, and I am not the kind of person that he's making the
I don't watch
content.
Speed either, huh?
But I respect that. I respect that.
Who do you
You do
watch then?
stupid shit. You get your money. Good for you.
Who do you watch then? If you don't watch these guys.
Man, honestly, my YouTube is filled with football
Watch guys
podcasts and film podcasts and
just
movie
podcasts
analysis.
and cricket.
Yeah, and a lot of cricket as well. But movies and
You saw it
sports,
in there, though, right?
yeah, movies and sports dominates like my YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
Listen up here. How shit works. Racist comments towards aliens, but Squabble! Ross, fight. You want to fight? Yes. I'll fight him, not you. I'll
I
pay
don't think
you
Aiden's being kind of bad.
$1 million if you get in the ring with me. Make it a million, we do it.
Okay, I don't think Aiden's winning a fight with this guy. Like,
He's jacked, and I'm sorry, but he's not the best representation of our people as well. So like
why do you
the
say
fact that they are discussing money on it, it's very much like the Logan Paul KSI fight where like the real losers are the audience because the match is a draw, and these guys have made millions out of it.
yeah?
KSI is banking money, and
But
Logan's
but
good for
but,
them.
but in every fight, the losers are their audience.
No, not really, man. There are genuinely boxing purists and like sports purists or like MMA
I
fighters.
could have a different debate with you on that, but hey,
Again, I'm not judging
I
them.
people
I'm just
food.
saying
I hate you,
don't
bro. Okay, so
pretend
let's
to
go.
be you're very intellectual because this is I can't take him very seriously.
yeah, I hear you. All right, let me play this next one.
White people food. I hate you, bro. Okay, so what's black people food? Huh? Fried chicken, Kool-Aid? No, I'm just curious, bro. Like, no, Chad, like, what? I'm curious.
Okay,
No,
you're
I'm curious,
insecure.
bro. Like, bro, y'all spend white people food, right? So what's black people? White people food. I hate you, bro. Okay, so what's
That's
black
actually
people
kind of
food?
funny,
Huh?
but it's not
Fried
very
chicken,
sensitive.
Kool-Aid? No, I'm just curious, bro. Like, no, Chad, like, what? I'm curious.
Hey, if fried chicken and Kool-Aid is black people food, there's fucking nothing wrong with that. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah, man. It is what it is.
All right, so look, we went to go eat. I'm not gonna say where. We went to go eat, and the entire staff were Indians. Now listen, no problem with Indian. I fucking love Indian people. The best. We're gonna even eat a poutine on stream today. Show hospitality. They're the best. Yo, you Indians, bro, y'all got it. Y'all are the best. They took pictures of me, couple of everyone. They showed the most love, bro. Yeah. Nah, they just took pictures of me. So I'm gonna let y'all know. They got them. So I'm gonna let y'all know what we're gonna do today.
Maybe he doesn't hit
We all gonna troll some.
that much. You can show some love right there.
You should genuinely try Indian food out though. It's an experience. You may like it, you may not like it,
Bro,
and
why are you trying to promote Indian food to me, bro?
Name one thing Indians are good at, and besides scamming. No, I got one. They cook food with their feet. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. No, Chad, name one trait, please. They make food with their feet. They make that. I don't care. Chad, I got. Somebody said cricket. Bro, you walk into any cricket store, it's an Indian working. I don't go fuck. Name one thing Indians are good at.
What the fuck? What's going on here, bro? Like, okay, I get the cricket reference, right? The cricket
right.
reference I get. And what was the first thing he said?
Name one thing Indians are good at, and he said
Yeah,
scam.
man. Like, are there like a lot of Indian scammers? Like, why is that a thing? I mean, there's scammers everywhere, though.
Right. So there's context to be put into that. What happens is a lot of North American countries,
Yes.
Canada and
Right.
America predominantly,
Yeah.
have a lot of Indian population because inherently the population of Indians is a lot. We are the highest populated country in the world. We are having a lot of unprotected sex, like a lot. It's a bit of a problem.
It's
So
everywhere,
anyway,
bro.
so
It's the
inherently,
same thing in in the black community as well.
so inherently, when people move out of their homes, the general chances of you meeting more Indians in one place is statistically more because even if, let's say, 50,000, 30% of the Indian population, for the sake of this conversation, I'm not right, but like for the sake of this conversation, 30% of Indians move and 30% of maybe Filipinos move. The 30% of Indians is going to be a larger mathematical number than the 30% of Filipinos, right?
Mhm.
So inherently, with more people come good and bad people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what has happened is a lot of these people find it very
Not
difficult.
gonna lie, bro. What the fuck does that have to do with this clip, bro? We get
I'll
it.
tell
There's a
you.
lot of
I'll tell
Indians.
you.
But what the fuck does that
I'm
have to
coming
do
to
with
that.
this clip?
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. The
Bro,
reason
you're trying to give me a whole intellectual debate on why there's so many fucking Indians in here. The man said,
And besides scamming, no, no,
he said, what are Indians good at? And he said some shit about making food with your feet. What the fuck
that's
is
not
that?
true. Food is not made with our feet. 90 to 98% of the food that we eat.
So where does he getting this from? Food made with your feet. Like
Why? Because
you're telling me I need to try more Indian food and I'm gonna be trying food people are stepping on, bro. Like, is that what I'm gonna be eating?
no,
I
no,
thought I was gonna get some good curry and some shit. Like they put the feet in the curry. Is that why it's so good?
no.
Wait, Indians don't eat chicken, right? So like, how
We
the
do.
fuck you guys get your curry from?
We do.
Like, what do you use in curry? Because in like in Jamaica where I'm from, we have curry chicken.
You're right. You know what's
What do
London's
you curry?
national dish right now?
We have curry chicken. We have curry goat. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We have curry crabs. I don't eat crabs, but like, what the fuck are you doing with the curry?
First of all, a huge population of India eats meat. Chicken tikka masala is low-key the national dish for Londoners
Okay,
because
but like, what's going on with the curry?
yeah, there are various types of curry, Shakil. You have
Okay, what do you do with the curry though?
fucking cook it and eat it.
Like, yeah, okay, but like, there's no chicken in it. Like, do you have curry
No,
veggies? Like, I'm
of
confused.
course. I mean, I'm a
Why would
vegetarian.
you curry
I
veggies?
tried all that. Maybe you have not tried the right ones. Try them.
No, I've had curry chicken. I've had curry goat. All my Caribbean people can tell you about that. But like, what the fuck is curry veggies? Like, why would you curry veggies? I'm so confused.
My counter question to that is, why would you not? Have you tried them?
Why would you not?
Fucking
Okay,
amazing.
okay. He said some
I'm
other.
making one right now.
good food with their feet. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna
Clearly,
lie.
he
Chat,
likes.
name one trait, please. They make food with their feet. They make that. Cancer. I don't care. Chat, I got. Somebody said cricket.
Oh, of course, cricket. But I'm kind of. I think I'm decent at cricket, though. I ain't gonna lie,
Have you ever played the game?
bro. I'm from the Caribbean. Of course, I play cricket.
You know, my matches are on YouTube, like my cricket streaming.
Yeah, you're good. Of course, you have a cricket. You're Indian, aren't you? Yeah, you just love falling into the stereotype, don't you?
It's not a stereotype, man. Honestly, I think
No, I know
the
it's not
love
just
of
a
the sport
stereotype, but still.
is just it's a religion back home. It's its own beast. The way cricket sells, nothing sells. So like cricket and films both are a huge driving force in India.
Hey. All right, let me give you one more and tell me what you think.
Let's fight. I don't even know who you are. I don't know your fucking name, Bam G. I don't fucking know anything about you, bro. Make sure you wear deodorant when we're fighting, though. I'm not smelling that stench, bro. I'm gonna spray fart spray because that's literally equal damage, bro. I gotta spray fart spray around my whole body because I ain't gonna lie. If I don't spray you with deodorant and fucking resistance spray and shit, it's not gonna be a fair one. I'm gonna smell that shit and like pass the fuck out from that stench, bro. No, you're gonna have to wear Axe deodorant like it's a fucking sixth grade middle school locker room, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. If I were to be scared of you, let's fight. Let's fight. I don't even
Okay,
know.
let's talk about this. Like, just tell me what you think off rip about this shit.
Of what he's saying that Indians smell.
Yes,
Shakil, how many Indians have you been around? Uh, just
a
a
lot, a lot.
how like I'm an Indian, like
Uh-huh.
man to man, and be as honest as you can. Do you
Yeah.
ever
No, you don't have that stench. But I ain't gonna lie to you. A lot of Indians do, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why some of them do, why some of them don't. I don't know if it's the food they cook. I don't because it's not because if I'm being completely honest, right? It's not a thing where I feel like people aren't showering because that's not the smell you get when you don't shower. But still, it's not a good smell. So like I'm like I don't know. It might be a cultural thing where maybe guys like do a certain thing that creates that smell. Maybe it's a food. I don't know what it is, but
you think
it
so
is,
many
huh?
smelly people would be able to live with each other without that smell
But
being?
like, okay, you don't notice the smell, right? If it's a thing, you don't if like if you're so used when you're like, for example, if I'm stinking in my room, I don't know I'm stinking in my room until somebody comes in and tell me I'm stinking in my room because you like you
Mhm.
get used to the smell, like you know what I'm saying?
Right. Honestly, man, this is a question that I have been sort of trying to decipher because, again, like back home, like the fact that people outside of our
So you
world,
guys don't smell it.
like
You've never smelled
you've
the
been
Indian
around
person.
a couple
They
of other
they
people.
have
I don't
that.
want to take names, but they don't smell.
So
Like
you've never smelled that. You've never experienced that smell.
I I don't know. Again, my
Are
circle,
you- Like
there are
it's quite
obviously
common.
certain people that smell bad, but
I'm
that's
not saying everybody, because like especially like me and you, like we've around a lot of people who like don't smell like that.
yeah.
But I have been around a couple that do, you know what I mean? Or
Hmm.
did at one point. But I don't know, a lot of people don't. I don't know where it comes from because a lot of people do as well. Like you know what I mean?
It's something that even I'm really trying to figure out because
Like
as
and you
like
never
Indian,
experienced that person that has that smell ever.
there's this
I think
girl.
you guys are just accustomed to it. It is a stereotype because every Indian person do not have that smell, but some of them do. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Low key, certain stereotypes exist because they are true.
But people like to say it's because they don't shower. I don't think that's what it is. I think it might be the food. I don't know. It might be some culture. I was hoping you'd be able to tell me why, but you don't know either. So, what the fuck you
Yeah,
what?
man. I
Just
mean,
like he said, what the fuck are Indians good for?
but like
You can't tell
again,
me why.
the only analysis that I can give you on this, and this is my thought process. A
Uh-huh.
people again, you have more number of people, more number of unhygienic people who happen to be Indians might be a high
I
population.
don't think that's what it is though. Like, I don't
I think
think
it's
people
the
aren't
food, the
showering.
spices have a certain. If Indian people cook their food spicy, and spicy food tends to produce a lot of fat and body odor.
Okay, you don't have to explain because you don't know why either.
I mean, that's the closest thing. I mean, I have been around a lot of people from my country, and they smell just perfectly fine.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
can tell the difference between a good smell and a bad smell. Like I'm not fucking.
if you're used to it, you won't be able to tell, will you?
Well, when I come to this country, then I definitely should be able to tell the difference, like you said, right? Because if I'm within my own place, I get the
Yeah,
logic.
but I thought you would, but like you can't.
You have just assumed and
Okay,
labeled the stereotype.
let's see this one.
Why don't Indians play soccer?
They do. What the
Because
fuck?
every time they're in a corner, they open a store. Bro, that was really funny. इसका मतलब आप लोगों के घर में एसी नहीं होता हो
What the fuck was
क्योंकि वहां पर तो ओनली फैन Why
wait,
don't
what say in the last part right there?
So that it works better in Hindi, but he said he like responded to Adin Ross saying that with the same logic, your houses wouldn't have ACs because all your women do is only fans.
That's actually funny.
I mean, it sounds better in Hindi, but like that's the
Nah,
gist.
it's actually funny. It's actually funny. Wait, let me see if this is the same thing.
Why don't sharks eat black people? They think it's whale shit. All right, guys, I got a couple of questions of animals or streamers. So, what do you have in mind? I'm not doing this shit, bro. On God,
Oh my
bro.
God.
Bro.
That's actually funny. And I'm black.
Why
That's
don't
actually
sharks eat black people?
I
that's bad.
think people get way too offended way too easily in the times that we live in today, and like I'm not
No,
able to.
some jokes are like some jokes like are just like just going too far, you know what I'm saying?
Where do you differentiate between a joke
How
going
much it hurts my
too
feelings.
far? No, no, no. Again, that's a very subjective thing, feelings. But like, how do you
Yeah.
differentiate between okay, this person means well, but he said
Even
something
if
that's out
you
of
mean it
pocket.
well, sometimes it's like nah, like you got to be smarter than that. You don't make that type of joke. Like somebody the other day, one of your coworkers said some shit to me. He's like, "Oh, he made some kind of black joke and he thought it was funny." And he said the N-word while making the joke and I was just like,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
yeah, I'm just like, bro, that's not funny, bro. That's not cool. Like, I
Not
didn't
cool.
say anything because I didn't want to make him feel a type of way because I know he was is coming from a genuine place, but I'm just like relax, like
Yeah,
I'm not trying to hear all of that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
of course, I understand. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I always go for the person's intent because I know, and I am somebody who likes
Yeah, but
uncomfortable.
sometimes just because you have good intentions behind something doesn't necessarily always mean it's okay. Like, you know what I mean?
again, it's very subjective, so like I won't argue with
It
you.
is subjective, which is why
Like
he
honestly, if you
probably.
make like a stereotypical joke or something, I know it's not coming from a place of like hurting or humiliating or like looking at the culture down, because you yourself have been in so many ways, shape or form, subject to the same stereotypes. Like different stereotypes, but like same stereotypes to your culture and stuff.
Matter of fact, just show up, pull up. I swear, listen, let's fight. I don't even know who you are. I don't know your fucking name,
Flip
bamboo.
I
flip.
think the guy who wanted
I don't
to.
fucking know anything about you, bro. Make sure you wear deodorant.
That guy has been very critical of him because of his racist remarks. Oh, there's a whole long video. Let me see
This
what
is the
guy's-
Google Pixel Fold,
Of course,
Oh, we
and
should have
it's the
YouTube
soccer
premium.
game you're
I'm a
watching,
manager.
the meeting you're in,
You're the one who's
and
making
your
more money than I have. Why do I have premium? They're going to demonetize this video for this ad.
Ross,
I'm gonna edit
speaking of Adin Ross before.
Your boy.
My boy. Listen, man. He's been out here offending the Indian people, bro. What's up with that, man? Why he be talking about Indian people like that?
Hey, let's be honest, bro. He's becoming a real Canadian because guess what? Every Canadian talks about Indian people now, bro. It's hard not to because they're everywhere, fam. Like every
somebody the
single.
other day said Indian people are becoming the new black people. And I was like, on God. On God, you guys are. And it's great because it takes some pressure off of us, you know? You guys are taking away the spotlight. Now every time somebody sees a black person in a corner, they might think, oh, it might be worse if there was an Indian there. Because, you know, like people make those racist jokes. But anyways.
One, like, it's not even negative. It's just like, you know, they're everywhere. So you're obviously going to comment on something, you know?
Yo, bro, they're getting the short end of the stick right now. Like, niggas is, everybody's just dissing them, bro. Like, but a few people caught offense to that, bro. Did you see, I don't know, I can't find the post that I was looking for before from Lioness Kerr. She got offended by something that Adin Ross said. I'm gonna find it what he said. And right here. So he got kicked out of Dave and Buster's in Vaughan by the manager for filming. And eventually he got let back in because he called the corporate office. But look what he said.
Wait, if we get permission from Dave Buster's, are we good?
Yeah, but you're not gonna get Dave Buster's on the Sunday.
Okay, you know what's wild about this clip?
Yeah,
So basically, he got kicked out of Dave and Buster's because he was filming, right? But he's
right.
obviously a really rich guy, and he's obviously Adin Ross, and he's filming. So, like, obviously, whoever runs Dave and Buster's would love the fact that Adin Ross is recording because,
Yeah,
like, there
really
is
free
promotion
promotion.
Dave and Buster's, right? So
Yeah.
this guy's like, "Oh, you're not gonna get permission from Dave and Buster's to come
Mhm.
in because, like, I'm the manager." And, like, he's like utilizing his managerial power. Like, yeah, you can't be here, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, let me just call the corporate offices real quick. And he called and he came back in. So this guy must feel like pretty shitty now, considering.
Okay.
Is there a manager? I'm the manager. That's what I'm telling you. You can't tell. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Just put the camera down for a second.
What's this?
Don't touch my camera. Always these. It's always these fucking Indians.
Yo!
Hold on, I'm just fixing my camera, but yeah.
Like he just felt so free to say that. Like, bro, you know you're being filmed. You're on live.
Bro just does
Yeah,
not give a
but
fuck.
wait, they were trying to like body him and tell him no type thing?
Well, you know, Dusty said this the other day on the podcast. It be that guy that tells you at the ACC that tells Drake he can't come in. I'm just doing my job, right?
Yeah, but that's what it be, bro. Yo,
But at the same time, bro, like you can't just be on some, yo, it's all these epic Indians.
I agree because that is racist.
Yeah, hella racist, bro. Come on.
that is a racism right there. But
Yes.
what I will say, because yo, I had a similar interaction not too long ago. So yo,
People making
boom,
excuses for
I'm in a
racism
suit,
is actually not
bald
true.
head, mustache. I go to a gas station, I want to get bogeys, all right?
Right.
Two nice Punjabi ladies at the gas station. I'm like, all right, nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, can get a small king size Palm Smooth, whatever.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, like, do you have ID? And I was like, I do, but it's in my car. Like, yeah, can you go get it? And I was like, do you really think like I'm under 19? I start touching my mustache. I swear I did. I'm like, you really think I'm under 19? She's like, oh, like I just have to do it. I'm like, so you're telling me like if I don't get my ID, you're not gonna give me these cigarettes? She's like, no. And I'm like, okay. So I left. I go to a next gas station. A nice Punjabi girl there, pretty, you know? Like, like, can I get a Palm Smooth, whatever? She's like, okay, for sure. She gets it out. She's like, do you have ID? And bro, like, I swear, fam, I was about to lose it. She was like, oh, it's the law. She's like, it's the law. I'm like, and when she said that, she's like, it's the law. You know what I said there? I'm like, yeah, but it's not the culture. She's like, what do you mean?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know, cause like I've had a similar experience, right? I was out with a girl. I'm not gonna say names or who it was, but she wanted to get a lighter, and we went to go buy a lighter, and they were asking for IDs, and it was like the wildest thing because growing up in like Toronto or just Canada in general, like I remember like as a kid, I could go to the store and buy a fucking lighter, and it was like nobody ever fucking asked my ID, and I was a kid, like you know what I mean. So I'm just like maybe times have changed, maybe culture have changed. But now again, the worker was Indian, but I wasn't really thinking much about that. But now that he's like, oh, like it was an Indian worker, and I'm just like, is it a thing where Indians are just more like strict when it comes to um like following the law and like just being completely upfront? What do you think? But again, that's probably just stereotypical and just racist in general. But
I think this is a very basic generic example you can't really draw a lot of inferences from. I'll tell you why.
okay,
We both work at the same place, and there are certain rules that you have set up while treating the people that you are treating in front of us.
yeah,
Okay? If these two people walked up and asked for something extra, I'm just going to do my job and say, this is the best we can give you. You got to pay more.
mm.
Would that be an appropriate example? Because managers set out certain rules while these employees.
No, because it's not about whether or not you're paying more or not. It's like you can tell somebody's an adult. Like he's a 6 year
Are
old person walks
absolutely
in
right.
with
Maybe
great
those
beard
people did
and
not want to
everything.
risk it, and
Like, sure,
just
you're supposed to ask for ID, and I guess me unless it's a thing where people are more stricter about it, where they're stricter about you asking for ID, then that makes sense. But I don't know. I'm just asking what you think about it.
it's really not that big of a deal the way these guys are making it out to be, as if it's some
It's
big
not. It's really
deal.
not a big deal.
Just show your ID if it's really not that big of a
But
problem.
sometimes people don't have their IDs and like they just can't bother because just like and that's where all this racism comes from because people are but again the media also sells it a lot like the government is a part of it. They blame Indian people for everything which is why like now the whole community is being racist against it. But like that's political and that's just way more serious than what I want to get into. I just want to get into the laughs and the funny parts about it. But if I am being serious about it though, I think the government is a huge part of why um you know, we're being racist. Well, not we're because I'm not a part of that, but for a lot of
Got
I'm
him
really
so
not. Like
way.
I don't even think twice about that because like realistically, I know that a lot of the things people are being racist about are just dumb and it's like it's not really Indian people's faults. Like you know
Can I
what I mean?
tell you personally, like, just like my experience as somebody who's not from this country,
Yeah.
I'll be very real with you, bro. I got treated with a lot of love and respect. I got treated with a lot of people that are around me because of my educational background and qualifications.
Mhm,
Also, in the industry that I'm in, people look up, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal when I say this at all.
mhm,
But people look up to the fact that, hey, this is a guy with a legitimate educational degree who, say what you may, has come from the highest populated countries in the world where competition for academics is so stiff. This
mhm.
guy, his home, his family.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm telling you. You probably think that's why people are nice. Canadians have this thing where they're nice on the outside. They'll say and do nice things, but in reality, in like the back of their hearts where they don't show. It's like a cultural thing to be nice. Like culturally, you apologize for everything, even when you're in the wrong. Like you'll just say sorry for everything, and you'll just do things that seem nice. But realistically, that doesn't necessarily mean they're nice because they'll do things that they won't show you up front about them being mean or being racist, but they will. So like you can't go off of like like it's a lot of hidden agendas, especially in Canada.
Honestly, I haven't experienced anything where to the point where it's
And
detrimental
that's
to me.
fine, but I don't want to get too deep into that. Let's see if they talk about anything else interesting. If not, then I'll cook off of this.
But to be honest, your people face that. I mean,
For
come
real.
on. It's
Huh?
not like, to be honest, your people face that as well. It's not like this is something that has started
I
overnight.
know, but I don't want to get too serious into like I want this to be light and fun, you know what I mean? I'll
Right.
probably edit this part out to be honest. I don't want to be too serious about it. You get what I'm saying? It's supposed to
You look like a you, bro. You're not gonna ID every single person. Like, do you think I'm a call like I don't know. Like I got pissed, but I ended up.
Just said, I'm just doing my job.
I don't know, bro. That like, yo, that pissed me off so much because, bro, no Canadian would have ID'd me, bro. I'm gonna be real. Not even a black Canadian, white Canadian, Asian Canadian. They would not have ID'd me, fam. These guys were trying to prove a point to me, bro. I swear they do it to mess with you, fam.
Somebody said in the comments here, who was it? Fayban says, or Faydan says, if you were Indian, they would have allowed you.
You think that's true?
100%, 100%, fam.
Oh man, you're not the complexion for protection, bro. You're too light, man. You gotta go get a tan, bro.
Ever seen a bald 19-year-old? Hey, Gucci, you're not wrong, but allow me.
No, it's
Just
facts
got
though.
the ID. But yo,
Like a
Kobe Bryant.
16-year-old.
Kobe Bryant. The reason why, like, the second time I brought my ID just in case, but the first time it's like, yo, you just exit your car real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just using my phone. I haven't got ID'd in years, bro. And all of a sudden, I got ID'd twice in like 15 minutes by 19-year-old Punjabi girls, bro.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I'm just doing my job.
Broski. Nah, bro. I was
How does he know you're
jeez,
Punjabi?
bro.
Stereotypes again.
I do rock with Punjabis. I
I
like
wish I could tell
Punjabi
you what
music.
we think of
But
you.
Huh?
This is all like all of this is great. But I wish there was a point where Indians could sit down and tell you what we think about white people or like people outside of India in general.
Here's the point. Sit down, because I know you love them. So sit down and tell me.
Oh, it's I mean it borders.
Exactly. You don't have much to say, do you?
No, no, I do, but I don't
Okay.
want to get into trouble. That's all I'll say.
You don't know what?
I don't want to get into trouble.
Get into trouble for what? Who's gonna get you into trouble?
No, no, I mean, I don't know if you put this up, this
Trouble.
shit blows
For
up, and
sharing your
I
opinion?
know how cancel culture works. So, like,
No fucking way this thing is worried about cancel culture. Brother, you're Indian. You don't have to worry about no cancel culture. You'll be fine.
no, 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 I do.
Okay, nobody's gonna cancel you. Like, how crazy? Nobody's gonna cancel you for opinions on white people. Like, what the fuck is white people?
No, no, white people, black people, anybody who's not Indian.
No, you're gonna tell me about what you think about white people, right? Not like,
Anybody who's not Indian. So that could be white, black, fucking yellow.
okay, so Indian people are racist then.
No, it's
Because a
not.
lot of us think Indian people are racist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very, like you said, it's a little subtle because you wouldn't expect the people who experience racism to be racist.
No,
But
that's not it is though. Like a lot of black people are racist
a lot
towards
of black people are racist. I know. I know.
exactly. They're racist towards Asians. Like, a lot of people who don't get racism is white people.
That's not true. That's not
Who's gonna be racist? How can he be racist towards a white person? They won't give a fuck. There's
true.
nothing you can do to a white person that will affect them. Imagine you as a brown guy saying, "I hate these fucking white people." They're gonna be looking at you like, "What the fuck? You're brown. What the fuck are you talking about?" Or imagine me as a black person going up to white people like, "Oh, I hate fucking white people." They're gonna be like, "What the fuck? You're black." Imagine a black person telling me they hate me.
I don't think that's true, man,
Like,
because
like
honestly,
what effects can you have on a white person that's going to matter? Like, in order for you to be racist to them, it's going to have to matter, and there's nothing you can say to a white person that would matter because they're the most like dominant race. So like
I don't
nothing.
think that's true. I don't think the very definition of racism is treating somebody differently on the basis of their race. Fair.
Yes, but
So
it has to at least be able to impact them in some way.
of course it does.
It can't impact them, then what's the point?
When a black girl takes her white boyfriend home, and if the parents are a little conservative and iffy about it, of course it does matter to her. It matters to the man that she loves.
Wait,
If
when you said when a black girl takes a white person home?
I'm generalizing, man, but like,
Okay, I'm just asking you what you repeat what you just said. Oh,
yeah,
a black guy takes a white girl home.
no, the other way around.
The white girl takes a black guy home.
If
Just
a
say what
black
you just
girl
repeat what you
takes a
said.
white guy home, and
When a black girl takes
the
a white guy
family, if the family that they have is against having somebody,
dating a white guy,
yeah, if they don't want a
it
white
won't
girl,
matter.
of
You can
course it does. Of course.
bro. Yes, it does, but like at the end of the day, he's white. He's not gonna give a fuck. Like what? And the black family probably won't say anything because he's white.
There's this lovely interview of I was
Like they
watching
won't
this.
say anything to his face at least.
Just people talk shit about me and my religion and my culture behind my back. Does that make it right?
No, but like it would affect you, but I'm saying a white person is not gonna affect them like that.
That's so not true, bro. Trust me, it affects people, it bothers people.
You're white. Like what?
So what? Are they devoid of emotion? Are they devoid of
I'm not saying they
feeling?
divorce. I'm just saying like imagine the lesser race saying some shit to you. You know what I mean?
So ingrained the
If
fact that
that's how they look at us. They look at us like they're lesser races. Like, not saying all white people look at us like that, but like in general, that's a stereotype. That's a dominant stereotype that the white race is the dominant race. So imagine a lesser race being racist towards you. It's like imagine a dog not liking you. Like, what the fuck? You're a pet. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
dogs
dog
inter
can't be racist towards you. You're the dog. I don't give a fuck what you think.
of course it yeah, those are not the right examples. A dog and a pet relationship is
But
far.
that's how the racial aspects work, though.
I'm actually looking pretty good, huh, bro? Not gonna lie. I'm sorry, I was just a little distracted by my own
What the
Indian
fuck?
personality and charm. It was
You get no bitches. I don't want to hear about your charm. Anyways,
fuck you.
but
Indian kidney on president. Fuck off. These stereotypes also don't help us. The nerdy kid with
but
the specs who's like an incel.
but he's not
It's
even
gonna be the driest
like
tour I've
that,
ever
though.
talked to in my life. Holy fuck, I can't, bro. Like, what are you saying, bro? Slow it down.
I don't want to fucking talk to you.
I look crazy. Have you fucking seen yourself? On my mother's life, I'm not even letting you pay to fuck me, you ugly bitch. The fuck? Bro, Bro, she's being rude to me, bro. You're gonna be the driest whore I've ever talked to in my life. Holy fuck, I can't, bro. Like, what are you saying, bro?
Slow it down.
I don't want to fucking talk to you.
I look crazy. Have you fucking seen yourself? On my mother's life, I'm not even letting you pay to fuck me, you ugly bitch. The fuck?
Bully's over.
Bro, she's being rude to me, bro. You're gonna be the driest whore I've ever talked to in my life. Holy fuck, I can't, bro. Like, what are you saying, bro?
Nah, that's insane. That's wild. No doubt.
That's horrible. I mean, I agree to pretty much.
You agree to what?
I I phrased it wrong. I'm saying I'm not somebody who'd be attracted to her, but like I wouldn't put it like that, bro. That's brutal. It's horrible.
Yeah, I thought it would be attracted to her.
No chance.
She's not the most attractive girl, but damn,
Yeah,
she
bro.
she's like a good six. I don't know. You're attracted
No,
to other girls, so no.
no. Your
But you
standards
keep
are
pointing at the ugliest white girls and saying that's your type. I don't hear nothing from you.
that's not true.
Wait, what the fuck? Okay, I'm not going into that. That's like a 40-minute video. But yeah, I think that's it if you want to go into something else.
Honestly, I just feel like people need to take a fucking chill pill, relax a little while, understand that we are all fucking humans, bro. It's not that deep. It's really not that deep. There are good
I
people,
think people should stop
bad
being
people, and
racist.
that's it.
The Indian hate shouldn't be there. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying hatred in an ideal world, you would not want hatred to be there, but I do understand that stereotypes and prejudices are
You
going.
understand why people dislike Indians though?
What?
You understand why people dislike Indians? Like why a lot of people are being racist towards Indians? Do you know why?
I
Yeah.
understand where it comes from, even if I may not agree to everything.
Okay, where do you think it comes from?
A lot of it is based on a superiority complex that the West has. And when I say the West, I mean you. Not like you as a person, but people, white people, black people, or Asian people as a whole. There's a superiority complex. A.
Mhm.
And hear me out. Second of all, you guys have a very generic idea of what you think India is, right? Because everybody thinks, oh, these
Yeah.
people live in slums, they can't talk and write English, and
But
they
that's not really why people like don't like Indians.
again, you're not letting me complete my point.
Okay.
Third of all is the scam calls don't really help, and the fact that a lot of them
Okay,
have
that scam calls is not a reason why either. Nobody really gives a fuck about that. That's just another reason to be
body odor,
maybe Indian
corporate
people.
jobs. Somewhere, like a lot of people said that because there are so many of you guys here, a lot of the IT and the computer science jobs, the tech jobs that are there, are dominated by Indians. Because Indians are looked upon as nerdy and academically more driven, generally speaking. Again, I'm
No, nobody looks at Indians like they're nerdy or more academically driven. Like what the stereotype about Indians are that
one
they're
second.
that they're lazy,
Who's the
are
CEO?
that they're lazy, they stink, and there's way too many of them. That's what the stereotypes are.
Well,
The
you didn't answer my
the
question.
nerdy academic people are Asians. That's the Asian stereotypes. That they're nerdy smart and like, people see Indians like all the Indians are the ones working in Tim Hortons and freaking and what's it called and the gas
Starbucks.
stations. Yeah, like that's the stereotype that they work in Tim Hortons and gas stations and that they're taking all the jobs or kids can't get jobs. Those are the stereotypes. But again, it's a stereotype that got created in media, and I don't know. Like
I don't
me
think you can blame the
me
media for
personally, I don't like really give a fuck. But
there is a lot of personal understanding of that as well. Everything is not the media's fault. You guys have a brain of
oh
your
no, trust. A big part of it is the media. The media pushes it hard. Like what? The
own.
media
People
pushes
say,
really.
is there a headline that says
It's
everybody?
not necessarily a headline. It's like little things like government officials are saying that, oh, like we need to reduce what's it called, international students. And majority of international students, at least it seems like majority of international students are Indians because that's what it's perceived of. Like when you think about international students, you're gonna see a picture of an Indian person. Like, you know what I mean? Even if majority of Indian international students aren't Indian, you're never gonna know because that's what's pushed out into the world that they're Indian, right? If you go on the TV and they're talking about international students, even if they don't mention the word Indian, you're gonna see a bunch of Indian people walking around, and you're gonna think, "Oh, there you go, that's the international student that's taking my job." If they're gonna talk about the Indian workers in Tim Hortons, they're gonna talk about like you know what I mean. So then a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that's why I can't have a job now." So then a lot of people start, and then it starts to trend on the internet, and then people who don't even understand or really give a fuck start being racist too, because they're like, "Yeah, there's a lot of Indians around for real." And then on top of that, because of the cultural differences, like you know what I mean, like some Indians might not have the best smell, right? And on top of that, because of the cultural differences, you don't understand people because of cultural differences. So when people tend to
I
not
think I've
understand,
had a problem understanding you. Like you know me for a while now because of my cultural. I mean, there are certain jokes and
again,
certain jokes.
obviously if you get to know somebody that's different, we're all humans, we're all similar, but most people aren't taking the time to get to know an Indian person, and some of them who do will obviously like again, some of them who do don't care, right? But like it's the people who aren't taking the time to get to know an Indian person because they're different, right? Because you look different, you sound different, you smell different. Like you know what I mean? So then people it's the same reason why people are racist towards black people. We look different, we smell different, we sound different. Like you know what I mean? You're different. So people and then they don't understand your culture, right? So like people are always gonna like go towards be and then the media put in negative things towards Indian people as well doesn't help, right? So then people are gonna like it's like I don't know they're just gonna want to go towards being racist towards you guys because that's the only thing they know how to do is hate instead of like taking the time to
So
actually
funny that
get
you
to know.
say so much,
Huh?
but it's so funny that you say all of this, but yet again, I can only speak from experience and because of the industry that I'm in and in the field that I work in. And
Uh-huh.
Look, there are going to be
I mean,
certain
obviously, you're not gonna get racism towards people are not gonna walk up to you like "fuck you, you're Indian," right? But you're gonna see it online. You're gonna see
different
it on
forms of
social media.
treatment, or
You'll see the jokes, like you know what I mean. Like people probably obviously are not
that's,
gonna walk up to you and say it to your face like that.
but my
It
point is
doesn't mean
that
it doesn't exist.
that happens with every culture, with every set of people.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen in
Black
every
people have their
culture.
own stereotypes. What are you saying, bro? I mean, come
Huh?
on. Black people have their own stereotypes.
I know
The
everybody
father
does.
being
Everybody
absent,
does, but we're
the
not talking
father
about
going
black people.
for a
Obviously,
cup of
obviously,
milk and not coming back, or whatever the fuck.
obviously the world is racist towards black people too. We are probably the people the world's most racist towards about. Well, obviously that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the new trend of people being racist towards Indians,
I don't
right?
think it's a new trend. It's
It's
something.
not a new trend, but it's
But
like
it just gets amplified because of social media.
but
Because now,
that's but that regardless of whether it is, that's what we're talking about right now, right? That's why we're having this conversation.
I just feel it's really not that deep. Some people don't like us, and that's okay. I wish I could help you change that perception and give you a more
Help me change
nuanced.
that perception. I don't have a problem with Indian people.
No, no, when I say you, I don't mean you, the person, but you, the viewer. If you are somebody who is like that, I'd definitely like to, sort of sit and talk, because people inherently are complex, and everybody is not the same. Yeah, two people can't be the same. And there is so much that we have to offer the world. And honestly, like I said, if there are stereotypes against us, trust me, there's a whole other side to the conversation that can get very ugly if we decide to sort of.
I'm sure there is, right? I'm sure there is.
Which is
Like
why
it
sometimes I
can
feel maybe
go both
I,
ways.
I should have stayed back and proved my worth in my own sort of, world. And then the world takes notice, because Indian art, Indian food, Indian culture, Indian
How will
cinema,
the world take notice?
how will the world, it's such a, sometimes you behave
By the
so
world.
overly, it's almost as
Are you
if
talking about India or the world? Like,
the world takes India's notice. You're one-fifth of the population. Any
yeah, but
educated,
nobody's really paying attention. If we're being honest, like most people aren't really paying attention to India or what's going on in
oh
India.
God, this guy.
Like, don't be delusional, bro. Like most people aren't paying attention unless there's something major going on that's affecting the world. Nobody's gonna really pay attention to India like that. Like, you
If
know
you,
what I mean? Or unless there's something funny that's gonna catch people's attention. Like, you know what I mean?
I think North Americans
Like people
inherently
tend to
are
like stick to
so
what's going on in their own.
the the levels of ignorance and lack of awareness. And I don't blame you or your people, or not at all, not at all.
Me or my
Because
people is crazy.
no, when I say your people, as in people of your country, it has nothing to do with your race. But
Yeah.
the lack of intellectual understanding and the lack of awareness, that is one thing that really sort of shocks me. It doesn't shock me, it intrigues my understanding, because if you say that a fifth of the entire world is not something that the dignitaries, the people in positions of power, or even general citizens are at least acknowledging, you really have to be delusional.
So you think everybody's paying attention towards what's going on in India?
India affects the world in a
I'm
majority
asking, do you
of
think
the.
do you think regular people are paying attention towards what's going on in India?
Yeah, yeah. Not what's going
Do
on
you,
in terms of
do
politics,
you think if
but
you go on social media right now, how many posts? I mean, obviously you're gonna see what's going on in India because you're subscribed to Indian feeds. Like I've never seen anything Indian related in news, media, nothing.
the world does not revolve around you, Shaki.
Okay, I can call somebody else and I promise you they'll probably not have
Because
heard.
that's because your worldview is that narrow.
Okay, but it's not. I need you to understand something. It's like I'm Jamaican, right? Majority and Jamaica is a very popular country, despite it being so small, because you think it's about population. Nobody really gives a fuck how many Indian people there are in India, right? Like Jamaica is a small, and we're one of the most popular countries in the world as a small country, and most people are not paying attention towards what's going on in Jamaica, unless something crazy that happens that like shocks the world, or maybe somebody makes a really good song that goes viral, or somebody makes a really funny joke that the world can relate to and it goes viral, right? Otherwise from that, and like or maybe something crazy, like maybe there's a series of killings or murders or bombings that happen. Otherwise from that, nobody's gonna really
Basically, if it's not a world event,
huh?
basically you're saying if it's not a world event,
Yes, if it's like, so that's what I'm trying to say to you. Nothing is happening in India that's going to like impact, like it has to be something that's like maybe a war started in India and there's a bunch of people dying, and then maybe the world might tune in, like, what the fuck is going on in India? Or all of a sudden a whole bunch of Indian people start getting like super rich. People like, what the fuck is going on in India? Or there's a really popular Indian song happened, like that song the other day, right? That Indian guy that made that rapping song, right? And that again, people start paying attention to what's going on in India. They're just watching the song. But that's how things get popular throughout the world. Like North America, like people are always going to pay attention towards not even North America, I should just say America, the United
American
States.
movie.
People are always going to be paying attention towards what's going on in the United States simply because it's the United States. They're one of the most popular countries in the world, and they affect like so much of everything that goes on elsewhere in the world, right? And Britain, people will pay attention to the soccer, right? That goes on in Britain. But apart from that, nobody else gives a fuck about what's going on in Britain. Canada, nobody's really paying attention towards what's happening in Canada. Unless somebody like Adin Ross, who's super popular, comes to Canada and starts making all his viewers pay attention toward what's going on in Toronto. For example, like I Show Speed going to India was like a huge thing for people across the world because then that's how you learn about other cultures. Like apart if he didn't go there, like a lot of people would know about certain things, right? Like you know what I mean? It's like so it's like don't be delusional thinking people are like people are as brain dead as we seem. Like things will have to go crazy for us to pay attention. People are not going to just pay attention to India just because they have one of the largest populations in the world. Like nobody gives a fuck.
I don't think you understood anything of what I
Okay,
said.
okay, explain it to me then.
When I say
What
pay attention, it's not in the context of our politics or of our. I don't expect the general common citizen to, because why would you? You're absolutely
so
right.
who do you think is paying attention towards India then?
The problem is anything that I say, you have a counter question that takes
I'm
the
not.
discussion anywhere.
I'm asking because I'm generally trying to figure out. Because your first comment was you're gonna go back. You should have stayed in India and made a big impact. And I'm like, make a big impact where, like worldwide? Because you could make a big impact. Like even the billionaires in India, like most people don't know them, right? The common people don't know them. So that's what I'm asking. Who are you impacting? Like, sure, the rich billionaire who's competing with other billionaires might know him, or the government who's interested in stuff like that might know him, or people who are in a certain field who that affects their lives might, but the average person won't. So I'm like, who are you impacting? Are you trying to impact the average person, or are you trying to impact a certain audience? Like that's what I'm trying to figure out.
All I'm trying to say is people, general viewers, citizens, or general people like you and me who are middle class people who sort of, work the typical 9 to 5, are getting by, are not poor, but are not exorbitantly rich as well. I'm
Yeah.
saying the country comes into the notice of people because just like you are working with me,
Hmm.
there are so many other people who are working with so many other Indians in so many other fields.
Yeah.
Google's CEO happens to be Indian. Microsoft's vice president or CEO, I don't remember.
Again, what does that have to do with anything?
I'll tell you. Happens to be Indian.
Okay.
One of the richest men in the world happens to be Indian, and one of the greatest actors in the world happens to be Indian. I'll tell
Okay.
you how all of this connects. Like I said, the reason I feel that the world is not as bad as I would hope and pray it's not, is because these people inherently attract a lot of Western audience. That Western audience might not be you and your little cocoon of 15 friends who are not interested, and that's fine.
Why
Okay?
is that about me and my 50 friends? Like,
No, no, no. I'm
it's
saying
not
because
it's not a conversation. I'm talking about average people here.
yeah, yeah,
Me and
yeah.
my 15 friends are
Your
like average
understanding of
people.
average. Go out, okay? Go out tomorrow and just yell how many people know Shah Rukh Khan. Or even if you just say Shah Rukh Khan's out there.
Shada Khan?
Shah Rukh Khan. Look him up. Just
I can bet a lot of your friends don't even know who Shada Khan. Go to school and ask one of your white friends who's Shada
hey,
Khan.
sir, I go to a film school. Of course they know about cinema. They do. Everybody knows who I'm
Okay,
talking
you
about.
know what? Me and you are gonna go out and we're gonna do a survey one day, and we're just gonna ask random people on the street
Again, but you don't have to include
if they know
Indians in it
Shada
because a
Khan.
lot of Indians.
Let's ask 10 people, and
Can you just Google
I
it?
can
Like,
guarantee you at least 9 out of 10 people probably won't know who that is.
you just Google him and you'll understand where you lie.
Yeah,
That's all.
sure. If I Google him, maybe I'll get it, right? But we're not talking about Googling it. We're talking about actually figuring it out, right? And it's like
I think you're incredibly delusional in not realizing the power. The man who sold out Rogers Arena with white
Oh,
people and was an Indian man.
that's not what I'm talking about, bro. I am not saying like there are not popular Indian people who are doing great things or who are in high. There's just popular people of all races who are doing great things and all cultures,
You
right?
have an entire sport in your pocket, brother, for the last 50 years. What are you saying?
What are you talking about? What do you mean an entire sport?
NBA is all you.
Okay, now you're being racist. That's not
No,
true.
isn't, am I
Anyway,
not right in saying that the
anyway,
NBA is
that's a
greater?
different conversation. That's not what I'm talking about, right? Like I'm just saying, like what you said earlier is kind of delusional. Even if you became some big CEO, sure, you'd be rich and maybe in some aspect you'd be kind of famous. But for the most part, most CEOs to the average people aren't that famous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just like, what kind of impact are you trying to make? Because that's what you said. You said you can go back and make an impact. The biggest way to make an impact is to maybe not Canada, but maybe the US. And which is close enough for you to make an impact in Canada, right? But it would be much easier for you to make an impact here than it would be in India, because
Let me pull out some
most of the
statistics in
world,
front of
like
you,
how
okay?
you said what?
Let me pull out some. I'm listening to you. Let me pull out some stats because and from verified sources because I don't want to like. But I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
Bro, I feel like you probably won't get what I'm saying, but hey, it's like I don't know. I'm from like it's okay if you don't get it. It's okay. I'm not gonna sit here and debate you on this.
Just give me a second.
I'll pull up what you're pulling up. I'm gonna end this though.
Mm, So, the United States is home to 4.8 million Indian Americans. They contribute to almost 35% of the country's finances and populations. These are not famous people, these are not people who are celebrities, like I said.
Uh-huh.
But by extension of that number being so high,
Uh,
general people who have a little bit of kindness and dignity in their hearts and who don't have a superiority complex about themselves do stand up and take attention. So, by the very definition of that, people
But
around.
again, they're Indian. So if Indian people are paying attention to India,
No, 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 no. What did I just say? Did I state an Indian stat or an American stat? This is the
yes,
US.
he said they are American Indians. Again, they are Indians.
Brother,
American,
then how do you expect us to
no
make a
matter
difference
where
in the world without?
it's like saying Jamaicans or there's popular Jamaicans in America. Like obviously they're still Jamaican, so they're aware of their Jamaican cultures and they pay attention to what's going on back home, right? Or there's Canadians in America. Obviously they're paying attention to what's going on in Canada. But in general, average American people who have no connection towards India is not going to pay attention towards what's going on in India.
Hmm.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like the average white person is not going to give a fuck what's going on in India. Unless something major happens that forces them, that's so viral, everybody's paying attention to what's going
Like
on.
9/11.
And like a 9/11, right? And if there's no 9/11, nobody's gonna be giving a fuck what's going on in India. People are paying attention to Ukraine and Russia and Palestine and Israel now,
You're
and even
talking on a very political sense. When
all
I
the
say
crazy
pay
things that's
attention,
going
I
on.
don't. When I say pay attention, I don't mean involving in the country's politics within itself, but
I'm
paying
not just
attention to
talking
the
about politics, I'm
contributions
just
of the
talking about
country into the
things in
world.
general that's attention worthy, right?
So you say nothing that
On an
1.6 billion
average
people
on an
do?
average day, people aren't pe firstly, people can't connect with Indians because they don't speak the language. So they won't even understand like much in what's the language? In
35 to 38% of
not
people
one of the
speak.
most popular languages in the world. English is, right? So if you're not so if Indians aren't speaking English, majority of people are not going to pay attention to it. because they don't
Happy that
understand
you
what
say
you're
that because it just shows how delusional you are. Just give me 1 second.
delusional with what?
129 million people speak English from India. India was colonized for 200 years by the
I'm
British.
not obviously Indians speak English, but when you're talking to other Indians when you're in India, are you going to be talking English to them or are you going to be talking your own language to them?
Trust me, a lot of people still speak in English. Like I grew up
My God,
speaking.
I know. I'm not saying they don't, but let's be realistic here. Like, if there's a popular Indian movie going on, why do you think it's not going to be popular worldwide? Because
Which
people are
was the
not,
last popular Indian film that won an Oscar? Can you please tell me?
I don't know because I'm not
Last
watching
year.
it.
Last year. Last year. You
I don't
don't
know
sit up
because
and
I
take
ain't
notice.
watching it, brother.
That
Do
is
you
your
know?
ignorance. That's exactly what I'm saying. You don't, and that's fine. I don't expect you to
But
do
I'm
any
not, but I'm
better.
trying to tell you, I'm the average person. And it's not just me. It's not like I have something against Indians while I'm not watching Indian films. I don't understand the language. And Indian films aren't being pumped into my Netflix. It's not being pumped into my Amazon Prime. It's not being pumped into my social media. It's not being pumped into Simplex, right? So if it's not there and it's not being shoved into my reality for me to pay attention to it, I am not going to see it because I am not going to go out and go out of my way and seek out Indian films to try to
That's
translate
the
the
reason.
language because
That
it's
is the
a good
reason.
movie.
I don't think it's the second half because it's already being shoved into your ideas. It's
No,
already
it's not
part of
being
you.
shoved into my face. I
It
can
is
go on my
already
phone right now.
there.
I have seen
It's on
nothing. I
Direct,
can see
it's
nothing
on
about,
Wanted Dundas. The
huh?
films are premiering everywhere. Two other people also making the effort and coming and watching. There's an entire YouTube channel.
When I go to Simplex, I have not seen one Indian movie.
That's because you're ignorant. Shakil, how many films
Go
do you
to
think I would be
Simplex,
able
go
to
on
name?
Simplex right now and show me the Indian movie that's popping off, and tell me how many people are watching it.
As one.
Because I promise you, I don't know anybody who's like, "Oh, I'm so excited to go watch this Indian film in the cinema."
You know what your problem is?
You know what your problem is? You're Indian and you're not realizing the fact that you're Indian. And that's why you understand and know all these things because you're Indian. If you were Indian, you would not know, nor would you give a fuck. And it's because you're Indian why you know and give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't know or give a fuck about certain things that's going on in black culture because you're not black and you don't give a fuck. And I can't expect you to. Do you understand that?
Let me just again, you need numbers and proof with everything. So like I'm not
No,
gonna
it's not about numbers and proof. Like I can see certain things, man.
I think you're just not reciprocative. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong in it. I'm just saying it is what it is. Because just because you don't sit up and take notice does not mean everybody else doesn't. Look up this channel called Jabby Koi right away and check the number of subscribers he has. He's a white person. This is not an Indian guy. Not an Indian guy.
So why am I searching him up then if he's
This
a
is
white?
somebody who he has started a trend of introducing other people from North America to Indian films because he just stumbled upon one and he was like, bro, I had my mind blown. Like, how can a film be made with such different cinematic grammar, such.
And he probably has like what 10 million subscribers.
Yes, he does. And
And
but
how
there
many
are
people
people
are in the
from
world?
North America who watch him. He gets paid.
And it's crazy, and that's crazy, right? You think about that. That's a North American person. Like, why is the Indian person who's advertising Indian food not gaining as much attention as he is?
But you're not. Oh my
You know what
God,
I'm
I
saying?
don't get the point.
The reason why he's gaining all this because he's relatable because he's probably a white
Well, a majority of his subscribers are obviously Indian because he is catering to that market mainly, even though he's set in North
yes,
America.
but the point I'm trying to say is he's like it's hard for like he's American. He speaks English.
So what?
So English is there's 7 point something billion people in the world, and majority of those people speak English, even if English is not their first language.
So what language are we conversing in right now?
So that means in order for majority of people to connect and relate to you or even give a fuck what you have to say, you're probably gonna have to speak English.
Exactly. So what language am I talking to you in right now?
In English, but you're trying to tell me you're trying to speak to me about the relevance of India, and I'm trying to tell you India is not relevant.
Okay, Shakil had a great call. Thank you so much. The ignorance and the delusion and the lack of awareness.
You need to understand. You need to get out of your own like. It's like me trying to tell people how fun and now everybody loves Jamaica. When like
Jamaica is not as big as India. Let's talk facts. Nowhere the army is not as big. The infrastructure is not
and
as big.
that's the what I'm trying to explain to you. You're talking about population and people.
Yeah, so
And the truth is,
money is also at
the
that.
world doesn't give a fuck about population and people. Like nobody's gonna go watch an Indian movie because they have a big army or because there's a lots of Indian people exist in the world. Nobody's gonna listen to Indian music because there's so many Indian people in the world.
Nobody's going to listen to Indian music, you said.
I said nobody's going to listen to Indian music because there's a lot of Indian people in the world.
Like Diljit Dosanjh just does not
Like
exist.
you're trying to say, do you hear what I'm saying? I don't think you hear what I'm saying. I'm saying nobody's gonna listen to Indian people because of the population, right? If people listen to Indian people, it has nothing to do with the population. It has nothing to do with their large
It
army.
has something to
It
do
has
with the
nothing to,
reach. It has
huh?
something to do with the reach.
The what reach? Like I'm like if a song goes viral in India, it's because it's relatable to it's because it probably has a good sound and it sounds good and people can sing along to it. Because like you know what I mean? It's probably not because they understand it unless it's in English where they actually can understand it because it's English, right? But most of the times Indians don't speak English, so Indian music is not going to be in English. So most Indian music are not going to go popular, just like most Jamaican music are not going to go viral on the internet because North America and the rest of the English speaking world won't be able to understand it, right? In order for you to understand something, it has to be relatable. Why do you think American music is the most popular music in the world? Because majority of the world speaks English. So majority of the world is gonna understand all these pop songs and all these, I don't know, whatever songs they sing in the world, country music, whatever the fuck it is, because it's English. And people are gonna understand English. Yeah. And because it's the USA and people in general just pay attention to USA. USA is relevant. Jamaica's not relevant. India's not relevant. China is probably a little bit more relevant than India, but that's for different reasons, right? Canada's not relevant.
My man said,
Canada is probably relevant to Indians and the rest of the world who wants to come to Canada. But aside from that, like when it comes to, am I going to go listen to Toronto rap artists? No, we're not.
so people just don't listen to the Drake and the Weekend and like
But Drake had the Weeknd had to go to America to get their popularity because people pay attention to American music. They had to do American music to gain their popularity. You get what I'm saying?
the fact, the lack of awareness. And again, this is not me propagating like my
Like
country. Don't get me
Drake
wrong.
and The Weeknd are bad examples. They're American artists, even though they're Canadian, born and raised in Canada, right? They do American music.
Okay, okay,
Are
fair.
you disagreeing with me?
That may not be a fair example, but the fact that and this is not me propagating like my country. I'm just like
It
talking.
it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're a
No, no,
proud.
no, no.
No,
Trust
there's
me.
nothing
You
wrong with
think
that.
I'm not self-aware? I know the issues with
No,
it.
you're not. I can clearly
Uh,
tell you're not because the fact that you think India is one of the most relevant countries because of its popularity clearly tells me that you're not because the world does not give a
Population,
fuck about
arts,
popularity.
food, culture,
Popularity is only
religion.
popular towards the people inside of the country, right? Your large population is only popular to Indians. Like only otherwise only way people give a fuck about India's large population is when they come to your country. Right? Otherwise, people are not gonna like, oh, let me go on my phone and search up and see what India is doing today.
So they don't
Let me
listen
go search
to
up their
our
cricket match
music,
today
or
because
they
I
don't
love India so much.
watch our films, or they don't
I'm
consume our
not saying people don't watch and consume your films, right? I am trying to say people are not watching and consuming your films the way somebody's gonna watch and consume an American film. And just not even American film, an English speaking film. Like Like I'm not saying you not have white people or all over the world who are just people in general who don't speak Indian but who take the time to learn it
The
because they are
fact that you said that just shows me there is no
the
such
fact that
thing.
I said what?
Indian. There's no such thing as a language called like Indian, but sure.
That's my point. I wouldn't know, right? That's my point. I wouldn't know. What's the Indian language called?
Do you think there is one Indian language?
I know, because I've learned from you guys that there's multiple different Indian language, right? But like there's a main one. I think it's called Hindi, right?
Sure.
What's the main Indian language called? Is it not Hindi?
Sindhi.
Okay,
I
so
said,
why acting like I'm wrong then? But
no, no,
sure,
I said sure. Yeah, yeah. You're right.
but you're like sure, like I'm wrong.
No, no, you're right. You're right.
Okay, so that's the what I'm trying to say. Like obviously, like I'm not, because obviously in every country, like there's gonna be people from around the world, right, who are interested in who have some interest in Indian films or Indian music, even when they don't understand, right? I'm sure that that's the situation, right? But most of the people who are interested in Indian films or Indians, majority. Majority of people who are interested in films that are made in Hollywood are not all. I'm sure a lot of Indian people in India watch all these Hollywood films. A lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Caribbean people, a lot of people from Africa, a lot of people from Asia watch all these what's it called watch all these American movies that, like, you know what I mean, that aren't necessarily a part of their country, have nothing to do with their country. Why? Because it's good movies and it's English. You can understand it because majority of the world understands English. You know what's crazy about um what's it called? The only other genre of like movies or like art form that's like that you need to like be able to understand it is anime, Japanese anime. Majority of the world watches anime and it has nothing to do with English, and we all love it, right? And we don't understand it. And apart from that, there's not too many other options, right? Sure, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not trying to say Indian films aren't really good. They're probably a lot better than the Hollywood films, but most people aren't really paying attention to it because that's not their market. And most people aren't going to take the time to learn Hindi to be able to understand Bollywood films.
Yeah, sure.
Bollywood films are not influencing their lives.
Sure.
And as somebody who's not Indian telling you that, hey, most people I know aren't really paying attention to that, and you think that's not true, just tells me that you only think it's true because you're Indian. And if you weren't Indian, I don't think you'd have that opinion. So I'm telling you, take the time out. When you go to school, ask some people, ask some like white people, ask some black people, ask some Asian people. I don't know, ask anybody who's not Indian.
All of this is on the side. The one statement that you said and that you remain very firm on is India is not relevant to the world. And that has to be the most
Okay,
delusion.
but what's relevant in India right now that people are talking about? I'm not saying people don't know India. Obviously, everybody knows India. It's a country in the world. But what's going on in India right now that people are talking about?
Does always a country have to
Name
be under
something
or
that's going on in India right
or
now that people are
an
talking about.
attack of crime for it to be relevant to the world?
I'm not saying crime, just anything in general. Say something like, for example, America. People are talking about American music, American movies all the time, right? So I'm saying, tell me something in India right now that
But
people are
India
talking about.
had the most expensive wedding in the world that lasted for 4 months, that had every
Okay,
Hollywood
yeah, you're right.
celebrity
That was
fly
one
down,
thing
lick
that had
everybody's
somebody talking about.
asses
And you know why they were talking about it? Because somebody from America went there.
because we called them. How could they just show up without us
It
calling
doesn't
them?
matter why they got there. The point is, people paid attention because Rihanna and Kim Kardashian of America was there. So they
So
paid attention to it.
Vancouver selling out Diljit Dosanjh's concert
The
with a
what? Wait, you said
predominantly
what? So repeat it. I didn't hear you.
Vancouver selling out like Diljit Dosanjh's concert had no value.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Just because you don't, there is a world outside of you. That is
Okay, but I'm
huge.
saying most people don't know what that is. Just because you sold out something, it's probably majority of Indian people who went there anyways. There's a lot of Indians in Canada, in case you haven't noticed, buddy.
So you're saying we are not relevant to
I'm
anything.
not saying Indian people aren't relevant.
The
I'm saying
country isn't relevant.
India as a country is not one of the most relevant countries. People are not tuning into India on a daily basis to see what's going on in India. Like on an everyday basis, people have to tune into America and and Britain. Like if it's even on a financial aspect, people are paying attention to the exchange rate. People are
People
like,
don't pay attention to the exchange rate in India.
and I
Trade
don't know
does
if
not
anybody
happen
does
easily.
because the exchange
Money
rate
doesn't
is
come
not
in.
affecting most of the world. When the American dollar goes up, it affects the world. If the Indian, I don't even know what you call it in India, but if it goes up, like, is it really affecting the world? I don't know. And I've never saw, I know, and I go on the news, I don't see anybody on the news talking about the Indian currency. So,
Basically, on a very serious note, it's almost 7. I actually need to go.
okay,
I need to be relevant so that tomorrow you won't be able to make such kind of statements. So I need
okay,
to get to work. I'm dead serious. It's almost
all right,
7.
bye.
I gotta go cook some food. I'm
All
hungry.
right, what are you gonna cook?
Oh, a vegetarian curry, clearly something that
Very
you
good,
think does not
very.
exist.
Okay, all right, bye, bro.
Bye.